Tuesday, and welcome to the Digital Weather Desk, powered by Century Next Bank. I'm Jared Floyd. Hopefully you had a wonderful night's sleep, ready to go on this Tuesday. I got plenty of sleep. Cubs played at 8 o'clock last night, so you're probably thinking, oh, he probably stayed up late. Oh, not when they lose 7-3 and gave up a lot of those runs early in the game, so I slept like a baby. But anyway, we have some fog across the area this morning, and that's probably our biggest hazard as you head out and about. In fact, look at the dense fog advisory that's in place. And a reminder that all of your severe weather hazards and alerts are made possible by Allegiance Health Network, providing high-quality, patient-centered care through a clinically integrated network of healthcare professionals. I really was not surprised to see the dense fog advisory. I was kind of expecting it to expand out a smidge farther. That has not been the case, but if you're not under the advisory, just be aware that obviously patchy dense fog will be our biggest concern this morning. Visibility at last check was down to a half mile at the Monroe Airport, now down to a mile in Monroe and Bastrop, 3 miles in Ruston, and down to virtually zero over Magnolia and Texarkana. So if you're traveling along I-30 in those areas, be extra cautious this morning. Fog has visibility down to 2 miles in Camden, 5 miles in Vicksburg. So again, some of the interlying areas are probably seeing some pretty limited visibilities, down to half mile, quarter mile in some locations. Give yourself a little extra time to get where you're going, and just be extra patient on the roadways. Again, aside from that, that's probably our biggest hazard as we go through the day. Temperatures were allowed to sneak back into the upper end of the 60s in some spots. Most of us still in the low end of the 70s. Again, there's still quite a bit of warm, humid, muggy air in place. Dew points are generally in the upper 60s at this hour. So as we warm up today, I would still expect a lot of areas to land in the mid to upper 80s, and the 90-degree mark is not out of the realm of possibilities. Unfortunately, not really getting the rainfall that we were hoping to see yesterday. Not that we were really expecting a lot of significant, widespread, heavy downpours, but we were expecting to see at least a little bit better coverage of rain than what we did see, which was generally confined to the Mississippi Valley. Greenville, Lake Providence, Vicksburg, St. Joseph, Port Gibson, Natchez, those are the areas that really saw the best potential for rainfall. We did have one little isolated shower that moved out of portions of Jefferson and Adams counties last night that for the eastern parts of those counties brought some rainfall, but farther westward wasn't as successful. And again, a lot of the rain was fairly light to moderate, or mainly light in intensity, so that doesn't really add to a lot of the rain totals either. So, unfortunately, the trough of low pressure that we were expecting to at least bring some potential for showers did for some, but as you moved farther westward yesterday, those rain totals dropped off rather rapidly. Check the radar and all your radar products made possible by Brown's Roofing. Schedule your free roof inspection at brownsroofingla.com. And you can see the lion's share of the rain now well into the Ohio Valley, across portions of northern Kentucky and into Indiana and Tennessee, as the bulk of the rainfall, again, kind of bypassed us to the east and is now moving even farther away from the area. But we still have a little bit of limited moisture kind of left over across the region as we start to bring a cold front into the area as we go into the day tomorrow. Susan, Eddie, Karen, good morning. Thanks so much for hopping in. The Digital Weather Desk powered by Century Next Bank. Check out the satellite radar composite. It kind of shows what we got going on. Trough of low pressure moving through the mid-Mississippi Valley and through the Ohio Valley, and then our approaching cold front from the north and west, which really won't pass through the area until probably early tomorrow morning, about 24 hours from now. But as that boundary moves through, it does bring some cooler, drier air, more seasonal feeling air across the region. Could still scour out an isolated shower or storm across the region today, but we have dropped the rain chances down from the 30 and 40% down to the 20% range. So again, not really overly encouraged about the prospect of rainfall. Evelyn, good morning from to you in Vidalia, and hopefully it's not too foggy along the Mississippi Valley this morning. Winds will shift to the north as we get this front through the area tomorrow morning or tomorrow afternoon, and the last of the rain chances would be in the southern counties and parishes, and then clearing skies late tomorrow, and the cooler, drier air punches us in to the low to mid 80s for the second half of the week. You'll see that in the 7-day forecast in just a minute. And again, a reminder that Futurecast made possible by Bayou Power Sports, I-20 Frontage Road in Monroe. Hunting season is upon us. If you need a side-by-side or an ATV, go see them today. Kelly says she's sitting on the porch in El Dorado looking at the fog on the pickleball courts. I was a pickleball fan before pickleball was cool. Just going to let you guys know that. Kind of like when somebody says that they're a big fan of a band before they were cool. I was a big fan of pickleball 25 years ago, back in high school. Big pickleball guy. Don't know if I would play it anymore because I think I am one bad turn, one knee turn or tweak away from like a blown Achilles or a blown ACL. I just have that middle age, like, I'm one bad step away, so I'm just going to kind of take it easy for the next 20 or 30 years. Check out the tropical satellite shows. We've got an organized tropical wave that will likely become a tropical depression today or tomorrow, maybe even just bypass tropical depression status and hop straight into a tropical storm. Your tropical products, tropical forecast made possible by Russell Moore Lumber. Your lumber number, you call, they haul. Check them out, Desert Street in Monroe, and we do have a high chance of development out over the open Atlantic as we go through the next 24 to 48 hours. You're probably also noticing that little shade of yellow out over the Bay of Campeche, far left-hand side of your screen, and that is a small potential area of development in the Bay of Campeche, the far southern Gulf, just off the Yucatan Peninsula. That's expected to move into the inland parts of Mexico or mainland parts of Mexico over the next 24 to 48 hours. It virtually has no chance of development, about a 10% chance of development, and it's not headed our way. That's why I haven't talked about it. But we'll obviously keep an eye on it just in case anything decides to change its mind. Daytime highs today will land back into the upper end of the 80s. A spotty storm can't be ruled out, but the rain chances are pretty limited under partly cloudy skies. Winds will stay out of the west-southwest through the day. Could be up to the 5 to 10 mile an hour range. Overnight lows tonight, upper 60s to near 70s. Still warm, still pretty muggy. Winds will be light out of the north as we start to wiggle our cold front through the area early tomorrow morning. We really won't feel the impacts of it until later in the day on Wednesday, and especially as we go into Thursday. Look at your 7-day forecast. Made possible by 3B Outdoor Equipment. Check them out, 3boutdoorequipment.com. Shows the cold front moving through on Wednesday, and then the drier, somewhat cooler air punches in for the second half of this week. Now, I'll refresh this forecast for midday as we get the latest computer model data in about 3 hours or so. But right now, again, generally expecting low to mid-80s for highs Thursday, Friday, Saturday with morning lows back in the low end of the 60s. Lots of sunshine for the weekend, so if you have outdoor plans, should be good to go there. And the rain chances are pretty close to 0. Hey, I will be a judge at the Scarecrows in the Garden event tonight. It opens tonight at Biedenharm Museum and Gardens. I suggest you come out and kind of check things out. Scarecrows are cool to me, and that's why I'm going to be judging them. And also, I like to judge things. People, contests, baseball teams, whatever. So, yeah, kind of fits right into my wheelhouse. So come out and check that out today. I believe it goes on for the rest of the week if you can't make it out tonight. And, of course, I'll join you midday with a look at the forecast. Your Too Long Didn't Read comes out in just a little bit. I have your fishing game later tonight. I have another look at the evening forecast later this evening as well. Got a lot of work to do around here. We've got to continue to test out the apps, make sure that they're still rolling and moving smoothly. If you're hearing app and you're going, where can I download it? It's not ready for download yet. I have the test version, so I'm rolling through those to make sure that everything works right. Everything looks good so far. I think you're going to like it. And I'll provide more updates on that and everything else as we go through the rest of the week. As always, you can check the latest forecast tied right to what you see here on the 7-day at digitalweatherdesk.com. You can input your city, your address, your zip code, whatever, and get you squared away there. Of course, you can buy merchandise, the 2 different hats that we have so far. More hats, more designs, stuff like that are coming. But again, we got to crawl before we can walk. And so you are at the very, very beginnings of the Digital Weather Desk, and we have so much more to expand on. But again, time is our friend, and patience is a virtue. As always, thanks so much for stopping by the Digital Weather Desk, powered by Century Next Bank. I'm so glad you're here, and